Not. How's it going, buddy? How you doing? Two vowels. So E has to be either here or here. This looks to be the most likely thing. Woven would have been a good guess, but W's not in there. Okay. Proves my hypothesis, but now we're stuck in a fucking rough place. Evening, how's it going, man? How you doing? Fuck, I'm so tired. Jesus. Kami, how's it going, man? Oh, so close. So good. So as good. All good, all good. Nice, nice. Cheek, cavity, lip. Nerve? Mouth? Mouth. Fuck. Classic, niche. A Kindle, a typeface? No. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know. Just get me away from connections today. I can't. Whatever. What do you got? Alcove. Bodily words for attitude. Oh, cheeky, lip, mouth, the nerve. Ah, fuck. Figures in Greek mythology. Calliope, Echo, Iris, Nemesis. The fuck is Echo? Echo, Greek myth. Echo in Greek myth was an... I don't know what the... Oread? Are mountain nymphs. Whoa, described as companions of Artemis. Whoa, I did not know this. Okay. Echo, a Orid who resides on Mount Cytherian. Zeus loved consorting with beautiful nymphs and often visited them on Earth. Eventually, Zeus's wife Hera became suspicious and came to Mount Olympus in an attempt to catch Zeus with the nymphs. Echo protected her friends from Hera's wrath by distracting her and with charming chatter while they escaped. When Hera realized what Echo had done, she punished her by taking away her ability to speak except for the last words spoken to her. When Echo met Narcissus and fell in love with him, she was unable to tell him how she felt and was forced to watch him as he fell in love with himself. What the fuck? Oh, Narcissus, this makes sense. Yeah, okay. Known for his beauty, noticed by all, according to the best version, Narcissus rejected the advances of all men and women who approached him, instead falling in love with his own reflection in the pool. Yeah, okay, we know this. My Greek mythology comes from Percy... Wait, what does PJO stand for? Percy Jackson, or what does PJO stand for? I don't know what the O would stand for in that scenario. If it's Percy Jackson, I want to be clear. More than half of my... Yeah, okay. More than half of my Greek mythology lore also comes from Percy Jackson. No dig here, okay? I love I loved the Percy Jackson series as a kid. In fact, I have like a bunch of them on the bookshelf behind me. And the Olympians, of course. This way's too little. This much, probably. Fuck, that's bad. God of War here and some novels. Fair. That's awesome. So, can you tell me how much you love Helios, Kami? Please. Fuck, I'm so tired. Let's do one take and then we'll do chess, okay? Worst one I have seen from you so far. Yeah, I don't want to... Listen, it's been an extraordinarily shit day, not... I just finished work like an hour ago. I'm supposed to be done work 3 hours ago, okay? It gives me some time to recoup before I start streaming. My whole day has been shit, and this whole fucking week is just gonna continue being utter fucking dog shit. So, yeah, don't sass me too hard if you can. I don't know, what the fuck? This is giving me, like, former Yugoslavia vibes. I don't know why. I don't know what that... Or it could be like Turkey or some shit too. This whole shit could be Turkish. Actually, yeah, Turkey's like... I'm gonna go Istanbul, fuck it. Istanbul in the 1920s. Spain, fuck. Spain without the S. I got 0% fat ground beef, and that shit gotta be cooked so carefully without it all. Why did you do 0%? Just do like 95.5. Don't do 0. 0 is horrendous. I want to be clear. I only know this from like my watching Instagram reels. I don't eat red meat. I hate red meat. I like white meat and I like poultry, but I fucking hate red meat. Okay, so in fact, I might even be allergic to it. That shit genuinely just... Okay, this is some like Vietnam or some shit, or like Thailand. This could be Thai, or like Cambodia. We're gonna go with like Cambodia. Nah, fuck it. I changed my mind. We're going Thailand. Thailand, 1940. Indonesia, 46. I didn't choose it for my grandma. Eyes. What the fuck is... This has got to be us. If this is not Australia, I want to have a chat with whichever dog shit country decided they need a giant spider statue. Ew. Disgusting, you fucks. Okay, right-hand drive, so it can't be Aussie, right? Because Aussie is left-hand drive? Is Sal here? Fuck. I don't know. Aussie's left-hand drive. I know this. Okay, we know this. Right-hand drive. I don't know what flag that is. It's a lot of red. It's not like Czech. Limit. Okay, that's like that's a German word, which means it could be like Luxembourg. It could also be Swiss then, if that's the case. Berlin, Germany, Swiss. We'll go with Swiss. We'll go with Zurich. I looked up where that is. I wouldn't guess that, bro. 2013. Let's go. How is that not perfect? I'm like a kilometer away and I'm 2 years off and that's not perfect? That's crazy. I'm gonna convince them to make us money of that. I don't know, man. Dude, the Swiss have money coming out of their ass, okay? These motherfuckers do not give a shit about money. I don't know why they'd make one about... Wait, Google Pic told me it was in Ottawa. First of all, Ottawa is not in the US. Ottawa is the Canadian capital. What the fuck is am I in the year 0? What is this? Where the I don't know where this is. No, it's not it's not Mexico, I don't think. Oh, it could be Mexico, dude. Never mind. Hold on. You might be correct. I'm gonna go with like I'm gonna go with Spain. No, people from Spain would be more light colored. No, Mexico's not a bad guess. Fuck it. We'll go with... But I'm gonna go Mexico City. I'm gonna go down south. I'm gonna do... 90s. Guatemala. My second guess was gonna be Honduras, so that wouldn't have been bad either. That's okay. That was good. That was kind of clutch. Thanks, Gummy. Okay, that is a statue of that fucking Alexander the Great. Who the fuck is that? That is like a vaguely Cyrillic language in the Cyrillic, right? Language in the back. So it's like something close to Germany. Something close to Russia, rather. Sorry. That fucking... Who the fuck is that? Genghis Khan? Who the fuck is that guy? Around Czech? It's not a bad guess. I wouldn't guess Czech. I'd go with like... we'll go with Poland. Early 2000s. North Macedonia. Fucking Christ. Alright, that's not horrible either. Clutch call coming. 755 out of 1,000. We'll take that. That's 75%. No, we're laughing. Alright, let's do some chess. Let's just... I don't even... Fuck, let's just do a little bit of chess to wake me up and then we'll start reading. Fuck, I don't even want to read today. That's so cringe. I'm so tired. Like, I want to read because I want to know what happens, but I'm so tired I don't want to read. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Probably not. If I take this... Here. what to do here. I don't know. Alright, let's just start reading. Does anyone know? Kami, you're probably the only one who even has a chance. Do you remember what chapter I read till yesterday? Because I know I didn't update the chapter numbers. $8:05, thank you. Oh, love you, buddy. Alright, let's try to get through to like 8:16, I think I have up on the thing. But I will... You updated the stream title, dog. Kami, I took a fucking guess, man. If you're going off of that, then I need to check it. I literally took a guess. I don't know. Harsh, how's it going, man? Aw, thanks, evening. Appreciate you, buddy. It's okay, I just... shit day, Harsh. Shit day. It's okay. We'll make it. We'll make it. Just one in a long line. Fuck it, right? Amandina. If ever anyone... fuck. Oh, that hurt. Motherfucker. Shit. Fuck. Fuck, that hurt. Amandina, if it were anyone else. Franca might not have remembered, but she couldn't forget this participant of the Dream Festival, a girl who called the underworld Taoist her teacher. Franca summoned the armored shadow Chen Tu for more information. She might even need Amandina's help. With this in mind, Franca reached into her traveler bag and counted her gold, including the final payment from a member of the curly-haired baboon society. She now had gold worth 82,000 Vril d'Or and 20,000 in cash. With a little exchange, it would be enough to meet the requirement for the armored shadow, Chen Tu, for a conversation. Of course, Franca didn't plan on doing this anytime soon. First, LEMMiNO was in Marora, and without using his special connection with the contract target, even knowing the armored shadow's true name, Franca wasn't sure she could summon the spirit. After all, that might be its true name, and translating into Hermes or other languages may correspond to a different creature. Secondly, facing the armored shadow without a true demigod would be extremely dangerous. Amandina's presence may partially substitute for a demigod, intimidating the armored shadow. Why would the Amandina's presence partially substitute for a demigod? Should we wait for Lumion to return from Marora before summoning again? Franca thought. After a moment, she exhaled, deciding to respond to Amandina on Lumion's behalf. Lumion promised to take her to the area around the Samurai and Women's Spring, giving her a chance to meet the underworld Taoist. But this is beneficial for us, but it's too dangerous with my current strength. Besides, I'm not sure if the power brought by the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing combined with the Tarot Club's minor arcana identity can penetrate the fog around the Samurai and Women's Spring. We should wait until Lumion is out of Marora. For now, I'll show Amandina some goodwill to lay down the groundwork. I'll organize some important mysticism knowledge and give it to her for free, show some respect for the higher authority, if not for me. If the underworld Taoist sees how well I treat his disciple, maybe his attitude will yet change. Also, I'll ask her which path of the divine she wishes to take beside the power of the boon to help her get the corresponding potion and materials. But this won't be free. Giving her everything would make us look too humble and lead to disrespect. Too much kindness can lead to resentment. Amandina should choose between the pathways of darkness, death, and warrior. Interesting. The potion formulas and characteristics from mid to low sequence of the warrior pathway are easy to find. Maybe we can just ask Madam Justice to get help from Mr. Star for the darkness pathway. He seems to be a high-ranking member of the Evernight Church. Last time he wore red gloves, if I recall. Perfect timing. I was about to report the secrets of the Demoness sect revealed by the Demoness of Black and mention Amandina's situation. Having sorted her thoughts, Franca returned to her bedroom, sat at her desk, and began writing. South Continent, Port Pylos of Matani, inside a villa. Having finally made up her mind and sending out that letter, Amandina grew more awake as the night went on, pacing back and forth in her bedroom waiting for the reply. The more she learned of mysticism and beyonders, the more she realized the gap between herself and LEMMiNO. Though she felt she could continue living as she had, maintaining an appearance of a normal high society person with certain abilities, the events of the Dream Festival and the rumors she had heard from various gatherings made her feel a sense of urgency. Living in the South in an era of increasing disaster, her Sequence 7 nightmare powers and current situation of facing everything alone made her truly afraid that one day her family would become sacrifices in a rose school of thought's blood ritual or some other hidden problem. The more she knew, the more afraid she became. Amandina felt that she could never return to her previous state of ignorance and recklessness. She now had a strong desire for higher sequences and power. Suddenly, she saw the same cool-looking charred messenger from before emerge from the void, handing her a mirror. A mirror? Why is LEMMiNO giving me a mirror? Amandina accepted the mirror with curiosity and confusion, feeling it was rather ordinary. She was just about to ask the penitent when she noticed a dark, aqueous light spreading across the mirror's surface. As the light flowed, the mirror gradually brightened, revealing a figure. A mystic telegraph? The one where you can see and talk to another person? How fascinating. She soon realized that the figure in the mirror wasn't LEMMiNO, but a stranger, a woman. The woman had lake-colored eyes, both bright and deep, as if countless words were hiding that made one want to explore them. She was brilliantly beautiful, Amandina thought, staring blankly, admiring the woman. She herself was a girl of outstanding appearance and had always been rather proud, but this time she felt no sense of competition, entirely immersed in the beauty she just witnessed. Her gaze lowered, seeing the smooth, slender neck and lace flowers around the shirt. For some reason, Amandina felt an urge to see the body of the woman. She felt this wasn't her problem. Even the padre who only liked men would surely have such an urge. Using a bit of charm to enhance goodwill for easier communication, Franca thought. This girl had a waterfall of black hair and blue eyes, exuding a youthful energy. All of LEMMiNO's female acquaintances are so beautiful. Is this a hunter's talent? Franca thought. LEMMiNO is busy right now and can't take leave, so he asked me to speak to you. Amandina snapped out of her daze, shaking off the spell. You're Moswa LEMMiNO's, friend? The one who may need my help? Yes, Franca smiled. And say you're not lovers. Such a beautiful woman even makes me, who likes men, want to sleep with you. Jeez. She straightened her waterfall hair and asked, I'm willing to help. Can you keep your promise? That may have to wait until LEMMiNO's finished his current tasks, and you're not strong enough yet, Franca said succinctly. Do you wish to advance through potions beside the power of boons? Which path do you want? Death, darkness, or warrior? Franca posed the question because of the power of the ice amulet was limited in time. After posing the question, she thought of something. It is said that higher warrior pathway potions are significantly height enhancing, even turning the drinker into a giant. Turning such a pretty girl into a 3 or 4 meter tall giant seems rather odd, Franca thought. Amandina discussed it with LEMMiNO which path she would take and had seriously thought about it, and said quickly, darkness. As a girl who had always been good at understanding her parents' thoughts and adorned by her elders, Amandina felt that the figure during the Dream Festival, which had only given her the power of darkness and not the death power given to Robert or the warrior pathway given to some gravekeepers, it might mean that he wanted her to be pure and focus on this path. I also want to go back to that ancient tomb during the next festival and get more gifts, Amandina thought. I still want to know what happens when the power of the death or warrior pathway is mixed, Franca thought. I will inquire and gather the necessary things, but you must pay for it, or complete tasks I assign. Amandina nodded. She was no longer the naive girl who believed that the value of potions and formula, who didn't understand the value of potion formulas or ingredients. Okay. Also, I appreciate you agreeing to help, Franca said. No matter what Lumin promised, I will provide you with something extra. Really? Amandina said. This lady is so generous. And it's not a trap. Franca didn't answer directly and said, remember, my name is Franca. As she spoke, she raised her right hand and pushed a stack of stapled papers through. In Amandina's eyes, the stack grew larger, eventually penetrating the glass and falling in her hands, and Franca disappeared. Franca and Lumion are a good match, Amandina thought. Suppressing the images in her mind, Amandina looked at the papers in her hand, glancing over the line of words, Law of Convergence. Amandina was both bewildered and impressed. Marora. Late at night. As the bar closed, Lumion exited through the back door and saw Gusain wearing a top hat. I will take you to the place for your test now, Gusain smiled. Any audiobooks available for Lord of the Mysteries? My whole read-through, Ayane. If you don't like mine, you can also do easies. If you don't like easies, you can maybe do the bums as well. Fucking the whole of Lord of the Mysteries is there. Not really, Kami, because the chapter titles are long and shit, so it's fine, don't worry about it. Marora. Marora's night was devoid of streetlights, relying solely on the moon high above to provide light. Gusain, dressed like a gentleman, carried a lantern as he led Lumi into a neighborhood at the edge of the city. The area had been abandoned due to a small volcano that erupted. The place you mentioned isn't at the base of the volcano, is it? Lumion said. Yes. The volcano's eruption affected the underground part of the cemetery, allowing its power to seep out. The lava receded quickly, leaving behind a void. If you could find the right path through the void and filter through the fog of war and reach the designated spot, it will prove that you have the qualifications to join us. Fog of war. Alright, how's it going, man? Gusain had been using this term to describe the underground fog, which seemed to have leaked from the mausoleum containing 001, representing a red priest. Lumion didn't conjure a bright white fireball for illumination, instead following Gusain. Inside the house, filled with solidified volcanic rock, they descended a precarious staircase leading into a partially collapsed basement. The basement walls had a gaping crack leading to a void. You need to reach this point near the cemetery's underground section and light the oil lamp between 4 stone statues. Remember, there are 4 statues facing each other in pairs, Gusain said, as he hung the lantern on the protruding stone brick wall, and took out a simple map, pointing. What's so special about the fog? Lumion said as he studied the map. It significantly reduces your visibility, affects your hearing and smell, suppresses your astral projections interaction with the spirit world, and dulls your spiritual warning and intuition. And, Lumion asked, seemingly relaxed, the fog of war envelops the corresponding spirit world area. Some Beyonders, even if they can enter the spirit world, cannot locate themselves or escape the fog. If they try to teleport out, they may get lost somewhere in Marora and never return to reality. Seeing means being able to teleport there? With my hunter's vision, I can only see 5 or 6 meters, Lumion understood. If I create a hurricane, could I blow it away? We've tried. You can, but once the wind stops, the fog comes back, and the dispersal is limited to reality, not affecting the part seeping into the spirit world. Lumion asked a few more questions, then conjured a bright white flame hovering above his head, stepping forth through the crack. Unlike normal fog, this one felt like it had been scorched by fire. As Lumion inhaled, his airways stung with fiery pain, his mind smelling with blood, rust, and burning. Ayane, you'll have to read to find out, buddy. I'm not going to be the one to spoil you. It's not going to be me. Sid, how's it going, man? Lumen saw tall figures emerging from a fog 5 or 6 meters away. These figures, made of iron black, covered in a dark red rust. Some lacked arms, others had disjointed bodies, and some had gaping holes in their chests, staggering towards Lumion wielding giant swords. Who dug you out of the trash heap? Recycling, eh? Before he finished speaking, he disappeared, reappearing behind the iron puppets. He turned his eyes iron black, and with his right fist ignited with flames crashing down on the puppet's waist. Suddenly, a bright white spear shot out from the crack in the wall, hurtling towards Lumion. Lumion couldn't dodge or teleport in time. He could only fall to the ground using the momentum of his punch. At the same time, he prepared to swap places with his shadow. His fist struck the puppet's waist, creating a spiderweb of cracks. Then his fist brushed against the metal surface, pulling his body to the ground, narrowly avoiding the spear. With a clatter, the spear pierced the puppet and landed 2 meters away, revealing Gusain's top hat. The Invigilator was the attacker, the second most dangerous person in Marora. The puppet took a step forward out of inertia, then collapsed into a heap of scrap metal. Lumion, lying on the ground, didn't roll away, since he hadn't gone far from the basement, teleporting back to the crack covered in the dense fog, moving as far as his vision allowed. Once outside, he could either counterattack Gusain or find a chance to escape, both better options than fighting in a preset environment. Whenever possible, avoid fighting in someone else's setup. As Lumion's figure appeared at the edge of the dense fog, he saw a bright white metal spear rushing towards his heart. Besides Gusain, there was another ambusher. Gusain's attack seemed to lure Lumion towards the exit, stepping into a trap. Volume 5 is good so far, Sid. I like Marora. This is a good setting. This is fun. This is like his version of the City of Silver, or like the Forsaken Land of the Gods, but you know what I mean. At this moment, Lumion and Marora, far from Frank and Jenna, couldn't use mirror substitution. All he could do was swap places with his shadow in a flash of light. The spear pierced Lumion's chest, setting him ablaze, but Lumion's figure turned thin and black, dissolving. His hair tinged with the spear-wielding man stepped through the crack in the fog. Leonard, hello, good sir. I don't think I've seen you here before. How's it going? Or is this... wait, XS, is this your second... XS, is this your alt? I think it's XS's alt. His hair was tinged with black, his features aggressive, and wearing a black and red jacket. Albus Medici. Lumion's figure reappeared in another direction, but due to the fog of war, he was still within 5 or 6 meters of the enemies. He saw Gusain's forehead glow, something about to emerge. Albus's hair covered in red flames. Traitor, Gusain whispered, sentencing him, then created several white fireballs, hurtling them to Lumion. He seemed unafraid of affecting himself or Albus, although they were only a few meters apart. Hearing Gusain's words and Albus's stance, Lumion understood why he was attacked and had overlooked the Iron and Blood Cross Order. This organization followed the Hunter Path, was also searching for 001. Over the years, someone had likely infiltrated Marora. One of them was Gusain. My old account was banned, so I created a new one? I'm sorry. So what was your main account's name? With the core member of the Iron and Blood Cross Order's strange connection to the Fourth Epoch Trier, they could maintain some awareness in Marora. Red, how's it going, man? Using 001 to sense the approaching enforcement team made sense, fitting Gusain's behavior. Now, it seemed Albus... It's been a pretty shit day, Devil. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's okay. We're here. Now it seemed Albus was still cooperating with the Iron and Blood Cross Order. Using the secret organization, Lumion's attempts to use Gusain's power to find Albus had been turned into a trap. Seeing the incoming bright flames and Albus blocking the exit, Lumion didn't hesitate. His sleeves flashed and he disappeared. Oh, Devil, did you watch the game today? I caught a little bit. I was still working, but I caught a little bit of England versus Croatia. Did you watch it? It was a good game. Until the second half, and then they got fucking... I've read one chapter of COI before getting bored again. Let's go! Huge. Hey, don't say it like that, okay? You made more progress in that 15 minutes than you made in how many months? 18, exactly. He did great. This time, he left behind a makeup mirror. The mirror fell through the fog, cracking. Gusain's fireball exploded, affecting a 6-meter range, unable to disperse the fog of war. The mirror shattered into countless pieces. Using the mirror world? Albus muttered in confusion. COI's boring, I think. Have you read it, Leonard? I doubt it. You know who had a great game? Devils Go. Cristiano Ronaldo. He did so good. Standing in the box, looking around like a lost puppy. He did great. He did so good. But can you really talk shit about him? Isn't he like fucking 41? Behind the dark void of the mirror, LEMMiNO used the mirror cufflink yet again, quickly looking forward and finding the fog of war had invaded. Indeed, in Marora, this mirror world is indeed special. Messi is such a nepo. Sid, you did see him get a hat trick last game, right? You did see him get a hat trick last game? He's 38. What? He makes no goddamn... That guy's a fucking alien, bro. Listen, I'll say it. Fucking... He'd refuse the call up. Dude. Messi's a fucking alien. I'll say it. LEMMiNO dared to trust Gusain and enter the fog of war for the test because he had the cufflinks. Of course, with items like the Sword of Courage, he wasn't fully without fighting strength, but he didn't want to risk it in an enemy-prepared battlefield. LEMMiNO chose a mirror mark in Marora and used spirit traversal to leave. As he vanished, the dark void behind the mirror collapsed. LEMMiNO's destination was Julie's room mirror. Upon arrival, he looked through the glass, finding Julie, the demoness, nowhere to be seen. LEMMiNO smiled. The power of Tism? Dude, genuinely? It's so over. There's no conversation anymore about who the GOAT is. It ended when one got the fucking World Cup and the other one got a fucking gold YouTube plaque. Holy shit. Not far from the abandoned neighborhood, Albus, who had parted ways with Gusain, walked along the shadows. Suddenly he stopped, as if sensing an undercurrent. Albus chuckled, and a dense fog immediately surged out, covering his figure and half the street. After a few seconds the fog dispersed, but Albus had vanished. From the shadow that had just enveloped by the fog, Julie, with her hair tied up and wearing a slit dress, emerged from the spot where Albus was standing. A golden ring with blue gemstone adorning her left middle finger. Julie looked away, her expression grim, heading towards a few blocks where the exiles gathered. Sometime later, in the deep darkness, a sharp, painful scream of a man echoed from her room. Why are you watching Ghana versus Panama? What the fuck? We doing Outer Wilds today? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we'll have to do it on the weekend, guys, because I'm so tired. I worked for like 10 hours today, and I'm just so fucking beat. Before someone says it, I know 10 hours isn't a long shift, but when it's like, when your whole job is just investments and doing math and bullshit, it's fucking so ass. LEMMiNO returned to the full-length mirror in his room and stepped out, lying on his bed. Discovering that Julie had left the bar, he knew the demoness had secretly been following him and Gussain. One of his intended outcomes. Thanks, Bug. I appreciate it, man. You gotta live react to the World Cup final? Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. You get fucking banned. Otherwise, he wouldn't have discussed searching for Albus and accepting the corresponding test with Gussain in the bar. He had done it to ensure that Julie would hear it. Although he and Gussain had lowered their voices, the demoness was close enough to catch the crucial information. Of course, LEMMiNO hadn't initially considered Julie as a contingency plan because Gussain had witnessed the demoness castrate Vihappen and had clearly noticed her beauty and charm. In such a situation, Gussain would have likely guessed her as a demoness and remained cautious. LEMMiNO's primary goal was to gauge the power of the demoness sect regarding 001 based on Julie's reaction. How many chapters you read each day? Depends on the day, Leonard. Good days, 10-ish. Sometimes some things comes up. Like yesterday I had to leave really early, so I did like 5 chapters yesterday or something. Are you streaming on the weekend? Alright, I'm going to stream on Saturday, no stream Sunday. If the demoness sect, through the long-term investigation of Celeste and other demonesses, had partially completed preparations and was only waiting for the final opportunity to act, Julie would have created extra trouble and patiently maintained the status quo. In that case, LEMMiNO would have to monitor Julie and Celeste to prevent them from taking the lead. If the demoness sect wasn't confident and still lacked information, Julie would likely use this opportunity to gather more intel from Gussain and the rebels connected to her, making her actions more comprehensive. In this regard, LEMMiNO had perfectly achieved his goal. Now, LEMMiNO was more cautious about Julie's reaction after discovering Albus while following him and Gussain. What would she do? Will she attempt an assassination on the spot? Wait patiently to challenge Albus alone? Or go find Celeste to discuss it? It is a pity I don't know where they'll encounter each other so I can observe. If I'm lucky, I may even eliminate them both if they both end up injured, LEMMiNO thought. After a while, he sensed some movement. The demoness had returned. LEMMiNO sniffed the air and the faint smell of blood. Albus, did you lose your prized possession? There wasn't much commotion in Marora just now, not like a fierce battle, so did Julie fail to find him? LEMMiNO waited patiently, ensuring Marora fell into a deep slumber before transforming into a shadow creature and blending into the darkness. Moving swiftly, returning to the abandoned neighborhood with the volcano, arriving at the crack in the basement. He felt it was necessary to investigate this area to understand some details in 001's sealing information. Neither Gussain nor Albus would expect him to return here. The fog here isn't as dense as before, the visibility is 13 or 14 meters. Was Albus or Gussain enhancing the fog of war earlier? He then conjured a bright white flame for illumination and walked into the fog of war. The fog felt similar to before, with no changes. LEMMiNO dripped a few drops of perfume on the ground ever so often to mark his path. He was heading to the area marked with statues on the map. In the dead silence, only the faint sound of footsteps echoed as LEMMiNO discerned the terrain. Finally, relying on his hunter abilities and memorized map, he reached. Leonard, that's not confusing because a pillar just means you're a great old one, right? A pillar just means that you stand above the sequences, but a pillar is just like a little bit, is like 3 special great old ones, basically. They're not any different, they're just great old ones that are stronger than other great old ones just because their pathways are more, let's call it influential. That's probably not the right word, but something approximating that. That's it. Nothing confusing about it. They're not mutually exclusive. Four? I thought it was Mother Goddess of Depravity, Lord of Mysteries, and God Almighty. What's the 4th? Unless you guys are talking about that whole resetting the universe bullshit thing, you know? To end the universe. Yeah, okay. That is the one. Okay. Finally, relying on the hunter abilities and memorized map, he reached the destination. There, against the rock wall. I think Devil just forgot, or it's a spoiler for Devil, and well, yeah, Devil just forgot. What a bum, dude! Fucking hell. These statues faced each other in pairs, their faces blurred, dressed in peculiar clothing. In the middle of the statue stood a half-height stone platform with an unlit oil lamp. Amnesis is a great old one? What? No, she's not. Seer, how's it going, man? We got Seer and Sid and Kami. Yo, we got the gathering of the great French ones. What the fuck? Who made these statues? They weren't here originally. According to the ceiling information of 001, this place isn't part of the mausoleum. It's just a normal underground. After the volcanic eruption, some of the mausoleum's power leaked out. And some built these 4 statues and placed the oil lamp here. What is the purpose? Judging by the style of the statues and the overall arrangement, he doubted the Church of Knowledge had set them up to reinforce the seal. More likely the work of the Iron and Blood Cross Order, which explained Gusain's familiarity. Meanwhile, Lumin felt the call from the underground growing stronger. It seemed to be just behind the rock wall, waiting for him to emerge. Lumin took a deep breath, suppressing his inner urge. Cuckoo! How's that, Seer? Is that good? He circled the statue and the oil lamp on the stone platform several times, finding nothing unusual. Lumin pondered for a moment and had 2 ideas. One was to light the oil lamp and see what happened. The other was to take his opportunity to destroy something similar and trigger possible change. Lighting the oil lamp is too risky, not necessary. Lumin decided on a second idea. Destruction is always easier. If something went wrong, leaving a mess behind would be more meaningful than keeping the place intact. Lumin conjured a bright white fireball, placing it at the base of the statue. After setting up 5 time bombs, Lumin moved about 10 meters away, hiding in the fog, and snapped his fingers. The 4 statues and stone platforms simultaneously underwent a violent explosion, cracking from the base. The explosion dissipated some of the fog, allowing Lumin to see the statues and platform. No anomalies or dangers. Good. Now let's see if Gusain or Albus notice the commotion and come here. I'll be hiding, ready to strike. Lumin grew more puzzled about the statues and platforms, planning to set a simple trap. You got me feeling like... It was alright, you got me feeling like a female bird. Fine. Ugh, you're gonna be so cringe. If the statues and platforms were crucial, Gusain would rush to confirm the situation, instinctively thinking that Destroyer had already escaped to avoid an ambush. Just as Lumin was about to retreat into the fog, he noticed 5 piles of rubble starting to wriggle. They collided and reformed, their statues identical to before. What? They restore? No wonder they didn't put any guards here. Lumin quickly recovered and tried a new approach, this time blowing up the statues and platform using the traveler bag to collect some of the rubble. The stone statues and platforms restored again, drawing materials from the earth. Lumin gave up on destruction, emptied the pouch of rubble, and returned to the statues, picking up the oil lamps. Inside the lamp was a semi-solid, semi-liquid yellowish grease. The more Lumin looked at it, the more familiar it seemed. Corpse wax candle, Lumin finally realized. A candle made from the corpse oils of an iron-blooded knight and a demoness of despair. Lumin muttered, Madam Magician mentioned that 4th Epoch Tree and a place in Bansi Harbor were the best scenes for the corpse wax candle. What about the mausoleum in Marora, which is similar to the 4th Epoch Trier? In the dense fog, Lumin stared at the oil lamp, feeling an urge to light it and see what would happen. Eventually, he controlled himself and refrained from taking a risk. With everything still in a state of chaos and uncertainty, LEMMiNO believed making any high-risk decisions would be unwise. He also had no intention of taking the oil lamp to trade with Albus for the head of the abscessed hand. Since the Iron and Blood Cross Order placed the oil lamp here without guarding it, they probably weren't worried about losing it or had many similar lamps. Based on his observations, LEMMiNO deduced that a pale yellow grease in the lamp likely didn't come from the Iron-Blooded Knight and Demoness of Despair, different from the corpse candle, and seemed to be a mixture of mid-sequence hunters and demonesses. Though it's less effective than a corpse wax candle, it should still work. LEMMiNO reached into his traveler bag. What do you think of Marora currently? It's so awesome. So here, this is like such a cool place. Albus being here, that Gusain guy being here is pretty cool too. Just the environment in general is quite cool. I like it. It gives me I like shit, do you have any right now? I think LEMMiNO is gonna quickly realize that he can't really do much with 001 right now, because it should be way above his fucking caliber right now. So I think what's gonna end up happening, and it's not like the church would just hand this shit over, right? Even the Church of Knowledge would be like, bitch, you're a sequence 5. You're out of your fucking mind if you think we're trusting with a sequence with a grade with the number 1 artifact, okay? Or a sealed artifact. You're out of your fucking mind. So I think likely what's gonna happen is this is like a test from the church or something. And the whole like Heraberg guy being here, you know? Heraberg is obviously short for Herabergen, which obviously means the God of Knowledge has like, I'm going to assume like damn near perfect knowledge of everything that's happening here. That's like, if one of the, I don't know, like projections of the God of Knowledge is here, that basically means this motherfucker knows everything that's happening here. And if that's the case, I feel like if LEMMiNO can get past these trials or whatever that's happening right now and just approach it, Herabergen will just be there and be like, okay, good. And he'll just like, you know how LEMMiNO was able to like squeeze out some of the artifacts from like the curtain or some shit, whatever the fuck, to like get out the sequences he needs? Herabergen will be like, hey, listen, I can't give you this whole thing right now because you're not worth it, but like, hey, you did good. Here's the sequence 4. In time. Now you say LEMMiNO instead of Klein? Fuck. Shit. Right? And he's going to give him the sequence 4. He's going to say, okay, cool. He's going to say, in time, when you digest this, when you drink this potion, you become a demigod, and you digest this, come back here. There'll be some more trials for you to partake in. If you can get through those, we'll give you the sequence 3 formula. Once you're at like 3, we'll just give you the 2-in-1 at that point. We will keep what I'm going to assume is the uniqueness, because it doesn't seem like Medici has it. And we're going to keep that, okay? But we're going to give you the 2-in-1 at that point. And at that point, it's up to you to fucking speed run this bitch and try to voop and try to fight Medici. As for how you're going to do it, not my fucking problem. Do you know the sequences of the knowledge pathway? I think I know. I think I'm missing 1 or 2, but in general I know them, right? I think I might be missing 1 or 2. Where I got it? I got Reader. I'm missing sequence 8. Detective, Polymath, Mysticism, Magistrate, Prophet, Missing, Omniscient Eye, White Tower. The Omniscient Eye tells me that his... Even one of the projections of Herabergen, if it's a sequence 1, Omniscient Eye literally means all-seeing. So that means he's gonna know anyway. LEMMiNO took out some old blood powder from the Demon Warlock, ice lemon fish fillets, a Berserk agent from the Night Stalker, and a Bark agent from the same source. Place them on the half-height stone platform, mixed in a bit of each. What do you call this? A cocktail, LEMMiNO chuckled, putting in all the materials back into his traveler bag, taking out Mr. K's finger, sliced off some flesh, and wrapped it around the brown lamp. A precaution against the Iron and Blood Cross Order's inspection hunters from the Order would undoubtedly check the oil lamp for any issues before use. In Morora, Lumen didn't worry that using Mr. K's finger would be detected. Looking at the blood-stained lump, Lumen reluctantly scooped up a bit of the semi-solid substance from his corpse candle and smeared it on the lump. A double disguised, combined with a higher sequence godhood-possessing item should fool a hunter's nose and eyes. Once the lump was coated with the substance, Lumen examined the candle, assuring himself just a little bit. It shouldn't affect the number of uses. After putting away the candle, Lumen picked up the oil lamp, removed the wick made of woven black hair, and submerged the lump into the semi-solid grease. Seeing the lump's yellowish-red color blend into a surrounding grease, leaving only faint traces, Lumen breathed in relief. Slowly inserted the wick back into the grease. After several adjustments, the wick's position and condition finally met Lumen's requirements. He had already imagined a scene. The oil lamp would initially burn normally, with the corpse candle having perhaps a hint of godhood, enhancing the ritual's effects and immersing the Iron and Blood Cross Order members. This would last for 20 or 30 seconds, after which the corpse wax part would burn. That would bring an intense pact-like experience, potentially fatal for some Order members. Of course, this might also benefit some members, causing positive mutations, but the corpse wax portion would be minimal, and the burn would soon reach the random materials wrapped in Mr. K's flesh. Lumen wasn't sure what the impact would be, but he was confident it would worsen the situation. Listen, if you can trust those fucking Aurora Order punks to do anything, it's to make shit worse, okay? Listen, I don't know what you're gonna, I don't know why you're coming in here. I don't know what you're gonna do, but I know you're gonna fuck shit up. Let's go. He's making a literal delayed pipe bombs here. He's gonna like throw it, and then it's gonna land. Everyone's gonna go, "Oh my god!" You know, "Oh my god!" It's a dud. We're fine. Just suck on this one. It hit strong. Lumen recalled how the South Continent people described East Balam cigarettes, smiling as he addressed the imaginary Order members. Chloroform in a candle. He then cleaned up the traces of the oil lamp and tidied the rubble. The fuck did he just put on? Leaving the faint scent of various perfumes, Lumen made his way back to the basement crack through the dense fog. He transformed into a shadow creature, returning to the bar silently, pretending to be asleep to avoid an ambush. At 6 in the morning, Lumen felt rather refreshed. What Dara uses for regular music, you're fucking with me, right? He transformed into a shadow creature, silent. Where's this music from? He transformed at 6 in the morning. Lumen felt refreshed, rolled out of bed and stretched his back. Didn't come out. Do they think I have teleportation abilities, making it hard to kill me? Ha, you're too hesitant, too cautious. Now I have shadows again, no longer afraid of the sunlight, and can block another fatal attack. Lumen drew the curtains, gazing at the brightened dawn, his eyes falling on the books. He felt a headache growing. He resisted reading and learning, resisting. If only there were a few books, Lumen would be highly motivated, reading diligently. Knowing there was 3 whole bookshelves and thousands of scrolls left him feeling rather defeated. After a few seconds, Lumen rubbed his temples, sighed, and muttered, "This is sealed by the Church of Knowledge. I should respect knowledge, I suppose. There's nothing else to do." Lumen sat down, leaned back in his chair, put his foot on the desk, and started reading. He had read the first 2 or 3 chapters and found nothing noteworthy, but this time he planned to study in depth. As he read, Lumen's expression changed. He became engrossed in the reading, almost forgetting the time until Liz knocked on the door, telling him breakfast was ready. "Okay," Lumen said, putting down the book. Almost at the door, he saw Les turning around towards the staircase and half turned back, glancing at the books. These books contained important knowledge. He was currently reading through one thoroughly and had skimmed through the others, currently finding similarities with the details in the 001 sealing information. If I read through the entire bookshelves and passed the exam, I might find a way to approach the artifact through the overall sealing operation. Knowledge is power, knowledge is wealth. Knowledge holds all answers, Lumen thought. The problem now is this kind of knowledge brought noticeable corruption, just like 001 sealing information. Lumen was worried the more he learned, the closer he got, the more likely he would become a puppet. to read truly. Also, if I focus too much on reading, will the others get suspicious and borrow a few books as well? Then I'd lose my advantage. As he finished the flight of stairs and glanced at Julie, the demoness wore a white shirt and black skirt, looking quite demure. She glanced back at Lumion, talking to Les, continuing to talk to Les. I only think about finding what I lost from other men when I'm in a bad mood. Normally, I just feel jealous and resentful, wondering why I lost it. And now your cooking has conquered me. I acknowledge your right to keep. As long as you don't come to me when I'm in a bad mood, I will not harm you. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Lumion said. She asked if I was curious about the taste of a demoness meat and cut a small piece for me. It was delicious, rich and fat and quite chewy. Then we started talking. Lumion glanced at Julie and noticed the bandage mark on her left shoulder. She really cut it. What are you up to? He asked Julie. I want to learn cooking, she said. And to cook for Celeste, he demonesses. Lumion shook his head. Trier. Franco received a reply from Madame Judgment. The letter began, Mr. Starr agrees to provide potion formulas and ingredients in the stages for Amandina's matter. But he doesn't need money or resources. He only hopes you can help him with some matters. What can I help a major arcana with? Franco thought. Thinking if it were truly dangerous and beyond her ability to help, Madame Judgment would surely protect her. Franca pulled out a piece of paper and began writing. If Mr. Starr's requests are within reason, I have no problem. After writing this, Franca read the rest of the letter. The Demoness of Black's description and speculation are a common view within the Demoness sect, but if it were that simple, things wouldn't be this complex. Most high-ranking witches believe the mirror world is vital for your pathway. This isn't entirely inaccurate, but as a collective concept of doors, the mirror world seems incapable of bearing such importance. There are two things to understand. Two of Cups. I know this may be harsh, but you still need to continue infiltrating the Demoness sect for a while. You are currently our highest-ranked member in this sect. Due to the peculiarities of the pathway, we cannot actively cultivate male assassins, and the existing Demoness sect members are mentally twisted, longing to approach the primordial one. We can only passively wait and find people like you who inadvertently enter that pathway. Franca wasn't too disappointed, still hoping to obtain the main ingredient of the Demoness of Despair within the sect, provided she found a way to bypass the cruel ritual. After sending her reply, Franca leaned back in her chair, gazing idly at the window. Suddenly, the area in front of her grew dark, and a silver skull emerged. Another letter? What the fuck is going on? Dear Muggle, do you remember the previous invitation? We are having an offline gathering in Trier this Saturday at 10 PM. Are you still interested? If so, please reply promptly. Professor. An offline meeting with the Academy team? Lumion's life is so eventful. I've barely been a proxy for a few days, and I'm already swamped. She had noticed that wherever Lumion went, catastrophes erupted, but since she hadn't been directly involved in most of them, the impact hadn't been quite as apparent. Franca simply sighed. She'd have to use the ice amulet to contact Lumion again. Since obtaining it from the Demoness of Black, she hadn't used it for investigating the Mirror People, spending it all on Lumion-related matters. She needed to ask Lumion if he wanted to attend the gathering, which might include members of the Moses Ascetic Order. If he did, he'd need to designate a substitute and try to send out the lie earring. Franca wrote a letter regarding the matter, wrapping a copper coin, some wraith dust, and rarely used Beatrice's necklace. She had noticed that after passing through the seal of Marora, Lumen's letters lost their physical form, leaving only pure information, so she planned to experiment, seeing if ordinary items, high spiritual items, and beyonder items could pass through the seal. The experiment's results would determine if the lie earring could be sent. If it weren't for the fact that each item was precious and useful, Franca would have included items containing beyonder characteristics. After preparing the package, Franca walked the full-length mirror in the living room, putting on the ice amulet. Late night at Marora, in the second floor of the bar, Lumen sat under a fireball currently reading. Suddenly he looked up, his eyes bloodshot. The mirror's surface turned dark. Lumen reluctantly put down the book and approached the mirror. He saw Intesian words appear, line after line: professor's invitation, offline gathering, experimenting with the items. Lumen's thoughts raced. Taking advantage of the ice amulet's active effects, he reached into the mirror and pulled out an item: Beatrice's necklace. The copper coin and the wraith dust were gone. Lumen looked back at the mirror, seeing an image of the coin and wraith dust around the densely packed words. As the power of the amulet waned, the words faded and the items disappeared. Only pure information and items with beyonder powers can pass through. It makes sense, because characteristics can't be destroyed, right? Characteristics are basically like pure energy in terms of like physics. Energy can't be destroyed, characteristics can't be destroyed. They can be transformed into other forms. They can just be transformed, but they can't be destroyed or created. This helped Lumen conserve the use of the mirror cufflink, only 2 uses left. Holding the icy talisman, Lumen began writing, detailing the experimental result and his observation on the item transfer process, instructing Franca to attend the offline gathering as Muggle. After folding the letter and enclosing it, Lumen activated the ladder, pressing the letter into the glass mirror, sending it to Franca. Franca received the items and read the reply. Do I really have to pretend to be Muggle? Ugh. The ice amulet can only transmit information 9 more times. Meanwhile, Lumen returned to his desk and continued reading. He was reluctant to rest. The more he read, the more compelling the books became. Of course, Lumen knew this was a sign of corruption. Just then, an explosion was heard, coming from a few blocks away. Explosion. Lumen used his ascetic endurance to break free from the compulsion, extinguish the fireball, and move to the window to observe. The explosions continued. Brilliant flames illuminating the streets. It was a route from the carnivore bar to the Church of Knowledge. Lumen saw Julie jump out of her room, landing lightly like a feather, and then disappearing into the shadows. Hunter caused explosions? Lumen grumbled. I really don't want to get involved in your schemes and fights. I just want to study. Since discovering the importance of knowledge in the book specified by Harroburg, he had become increasingly focused, spending all his time reading. If not for the risk of exposing the book's importance, he would have used his abilities to study all night. The more seriously he studied, the less he wanted to do anything else, relying on sheer willpower and his ascetic endurance to break free from that state. After a moment, Lumen's expression calmed, muttering, "When I find the opportunity to kill you all, I can finally study." Suppressing his abnormal emotions, Lumen transformed to a shadow creature and heading to the explosion site. Soon he reached the destination of the half-collapsed building, Data's Agricultural Company. Someone attacked Wannick? Lumen snapped out of his daze. He saw 2 giant figures emerge, 3 or 4 meters tall, each holding a broadsword. Iron soldiers. Giant iron soldiers. Lumen recalled the iron soldiers he had seen deep in the Sauron family Red Swan Castle. The next moment, one of the soldiers smashed through the collapsed wall and fixed his gaze on Lumion. It charged at Lumion, raising its broadsword. Discovered? How did it find me? I'm a shadow creature. LEMMiNO wondered as he emerged from the shadows. He teleported to the side of the Iron Soldier. The soldier ran past him, realizing it was too late that its target had moved. It had to slow down forcibly. LEMMiNO, well prepared, leapt high into the air, his fist blazing with flames, struck the soldier's neck. The sound echoed like a church bell, and the soldier was pushed back a step. A fist-sized dent appeared on its neck. LEMMiNO's strike was purely a cull, without probing for weakness. Having thoroughly studied doll crafting and maintenance, he knew exactly where the weak points of such soldiers were. Of course, he also had observed beforehand to confirm that the soldier was of regular type and hadn't been modified. Is LEMMiNO going to become a way better hunter now that he's studying? Also, it would also make sense that the thing that Harroberg said, that like, oh, a true hunter, or sorry, a good hunter is like a one who carries knowledge or whatever the fuck he said. So like maybe he was referring to like, hey, the last time I tried to get Medici to read and that motherfucker called me a fucking holeless bitch and left. So you know what, maybe you get the characteristic. Fuck him. He called me holeless. He doesn't know. She goes to a different school. The Iron Soldier, enraged by the attack, swung its sword in a storm of slashes, cutting and chopping in a 5 or 6 meter radius. LEMMiNO teleported a few meters away, watching the soldier raise his right palm, still one hand in his pocket. One after another, fireballs flew to the soldier. The dark red glow in the soldier's eye brightened as it locked onto LEMMiNO. It cleaved through the fireballs, enduring the rest as it charged through. Almost simultaneously, LEMMiNO vanished again, reappearing on the soldier's shoulder, half crouched, delivering a powerful punch to the dent. Flames erupted from his fist. The sound was like a hammer striking a bell. LEMMiNO faded yet again, dodging the soldier's left hand as it released its giant sword. A moment later, the dent in the soldier's neck shattered. The crack spread to its head and body. The soldier staggered forward, its metal fragments falling. Didn't you learn from last time, making the same mistake again? Oh, you don't even have a brain. LEMMiNO finished speaking. The struggling iron-clad soldier collapsed into a pile of debris. LEMMiNO turned his attention to the other side of the company, the remaining soldiers silently burning with pitch black flames. It fell to the ground. Julie, wearing a cotton nightgown with a hint of spring, stood leisurely behind it. The metal fragments near LEMMiNO were also shrinking. Julie looked at him. "Boss, you're even more impressive than I thought." "Compliment me all you want, but why are you staring at my crotch?" LEMMiNO scoffed. "You're not bad yourself." "But why don't you look at me when you speak?" Julie said. "Because you don't have anything down there," LEMMiNO replied, ignoring Julie and heading to the company. Julie's expression turned dark. "Soon you won't have anything either," she said. Dude, he's such a bitch. He knows that she has like trauma, but then he goes, "Damn, you lost your dick. Oof, couldn't be me, brother." She hasn't been mean to you. She hasn't threatened you. Just by then, LEMMiNO had reached the half-collapsed building and started inspecting the battle. Explosions, high temperatures, fire, attack directly hitting key structures. Definitely a battle between hunters. Multiple injuries, more than one. LEMMiNO discovered several corpses, some ordinary like night shift workers, others mangled, reduced to chunks of flesh. LEMMiNO noticed one corpse with a somewhat intact head, a faint red mark on its forehead. I've seen such a similar mark on Gusain's forehead. So the Iron and Blood Cross Order is trying to assassinate Wanek. With Albus joining them, they've grown bold enough to eliminate potential rivals. But it seems they failed. Wanek truly is formidable, facing such an assault. The Iron and Blood Cross Order is trying to cooperate with Albus? Do they believe this Medici descendant? Does Gusain not know what the Medici name represents? They know, but they intend to use him. Have you figured anything out? Julie asked. LEMMiNO chuckled. Shouldn't I be asking you that? You're good at divination, unlike me. I tried, but I got nothing. Some of them might be carrying some special high-rank items. It seems that the Albus you're wary of has formed an alliance with the Gusain group, she said. They're trying to eliminate Wanek, probably. Next, they'll try to eliminate me, you, and all hunters and demonesses. Boss, I know you don't trust me, and I don't trust you either. Unless all that's left is a schlong. What? Oh, I see. But against the threat of Albus and Gusain, can we temporarily cooperate? You, a demoness who doesn't like to study and only knows how to do twisted things, cooperate with me? I simply wish to study diligently. LEMMiNO criticized and chuckled. Sure. Dude, how much has Haraberg corrupted him? This motherfucker's like, when was the last time you read a book, bitch? Oh, you sub-90 IQ idiot. You think I would have to cooperate with the likes of you? His goal was the information accumulated by the demoness sect and their preparations. Cooperation would make it easier to access. Julie was about to say more when she suddenly saw a group of black-robed enforcers running over. Her eyes flickered. I have to leave now. Let's talk tomorrow. Alright. LEMMiNO glanced at the leading enforcer and noticed it wasn't Celeste. Julie immediately stepped into the shadows and vanished. LEMMiNO stared at the corpses for a few seconds before turning and leaving too. In the darkness, he walked a steady pace, pondering. Aren't there too many members in Marora just to deal with Wanek? 4 or 5 have already died. It's not about whether they could infiltrate so many members or if the Church of Knowledge is being too lenient, but no organization would wish to suffer such losses. Marora is a place where 001 is sealed. Every Beyonder sent here must be prepared for a good chance of sacrifice. The Demoness sect only sent one Sequence 5 at a time. Seems you're still streaming? Yeah, I'm still streaming, Chris. I don't know how much longer I have in me. I'm so dead. I'm dead. I'm so dead. Unless the previous demoness lost contact and no longer responded, they wouldn't send another. Does the Iron and Blood Cross Order really not care about mid to low sequence Beyonders? For a war, that's not too strange, but a sensible commander would only sacrifice soldiers at critical moments, not letting them die on the way. Or has Gusain developed a large number of new hunters in Marora? LEMMiNO suddenly thought of Gusain. Or the true Iron and Blood Cross Order members, only Gusain and a few others, while the rest are mass-produced through a ritual. If that's true, when Gusain and the others hold the next ritual to create soldiers, something interesting will happen. I wonder what kind of soldiers will appear. True, Kami, yep. Now LEMMiNO's pace quickened as he returned to the carnivore bar, sat at his desk and formed a white fireball. He wanted to finish reading the examples of mausoleum construction. Don't let anything interrupt my studying again, LEMMiNO muttered as he buried himself. Amidst the occasional sound of flipping pages, he suddenly turned his head, his focus on the mirror. The surface of the mirror rippled, revealing a figure with iron-black eyes, bright red hair. Wanek? Do you want to kill Gusain and Albus Matici? Wanek asked. Oh shit, let's go! Oh, the enemy of my enemy! Seer, why would they not be able to? What are you talking about? Alright, I'll try to make it to 8:15 because we're in a good place right now, but... Man, I'm so sleepy and tired. And I gotta do this exact same shit again tomorrow. Fucking cringe. Lord, end it all. Hearing Wanek's question, LEMMiNO, who's already a bit irritated from his studying, interrupted. Can you find them? No, Wanek admitted. Unlike LEMMiNO and Wanek, who had fixed residences, Gusain and Medici moved around in secrecy, making it hard to locate. But I can use myself as bait to lure them. Lure them? What kind of hunter does that? Sounds more like a fishing master. He looked at the man. Bait. If you dare to wander the streets of Marora, they will definitely think it's a trap and not make a move. Of course. They may send someone to test if you're bluffing, but that won't help much if you ambush them. I won't treat them as fools. I'll leave some traces, give them clues, let them find my hiding place on their own. They must act within a few days. They can't wait for me to recover, or it'll be quite the headache. Confident, are you? Why not wait until you're healed to seek revenge? Why take the risk now? Why cooperate with me? In 5 days, if they don't find me, those rats will scurry back to their sewers and hide. I can kill any one of them, but finding them is the difficulty, Wennick said. The most powerful figure in Marora, who seems to have been submitted to 001 and gained boons, has the power of a pseudo-demigod. Do his current abilities imply 001 dislikes Medici and the Iron and Blood Cross Order? Well, clearly, if they want to help you. Or does 001 resist anyone trying to control it, witnessed by Wennick's initial hostility to me? But under the current circumstances, he wants to target Albus and Gussain first, and cooperate with the weaker side. Wennick has a pseudo-demigod strength and is in his home turf, Marora, yet he was wounded severely. Albus is indeed not simple, and Gussain must be quite formidable too. 001 has some connection to that special mirror world, allowing Wennick to traverse through mirrors. Lumion looked at Wennick and said, "Why me? We are the same kind of people, and I can see that you are not so simple." Of course I'm not simple, with so much corruption and so much shit mixed together. Simple would be fucking strange. Aren't you worried that I'll take this chance to kill you, Albus and Gussain together? You couldn't, and besides, in Marora, killing me isn't quite so easy. Lumion leaned back in his chair and said time and place. The timing is uncertain, depends on their investigation progress. I'll inform you of the approximate time and location in advance, Wennick said with a smile. Lumion opened his eyes and sat up. With your strength, you were wounded by them. What abilities did they show in battle? Not severely wounded, just nearly. That Albus has the powers or items that can create a war fog, a high-ranking hunter ability. Gussain, aside from being a powerful hunter, has some demoness abilities and can use the mirror world to an extent. Pleasure working with you, Lumion said as he smiled. Wennick nodded and disappeared. Is this a trap? The three of them to ambush me? Or is Wennick using this chance to eliminate the three of us? Lumion thought about many things till his head hurt. Fuck it. For now, just focus on reading. Lumion turned back to reading the examples of the mausoleum construction. After another hour, he closed the book. After nearly a week of effort, he had finished the first batch of books specified by Harroburg, and could take the exam tomorrow. Lumion lay back in his bed and fell asleep. In the hazy state, he saw an army, the soldiers clad in armor, marching across the reddish plains. Sensing Lumin's gaze, they turned their heads, their eyes piercing. Lumion saw their faces under their helmets, their skin pale and shriveled, moisture and flesh drained, clinging to their skulls. Mummies? An army of undead? As this dawned on Lumion, fear surged from his heart. He struggled against this feeling, finally waking up. He opened his eyes to find it was just a dream. The sky was dim, and there was no sign of dawn. Too much knowledge of 001 is increasing the corruption, Lumion thought. Julie hadn't returned overnight, and after breakfast, Lumion packed the books into his bag and headed to the cathedral. Harroburg was explaining things to a group of new exiles. Lumion waited until the exiles left the cathedral and smiled. "Your Grace, I have finished these books." "Adding your grace this time," Harroburg teased, taking the books and pointing to the bookshelves. "Go there and pick a paper to do." Prepared for this, Lumion walked to the bookshelf and picked a paper. As he searched for a table and chair, he glanced at the questions. He froze. The first question, have you had any nightmares recently? The second, please describe the content of the nightmare in details. I love how the first nightmare is a fucking joke, because the first question is like, listen, if you read the book, then you've had nightmares. So this question is, if you say no, you haven't read the book, so fucking leave. If you have read the books, please describe your nightmares. Is this an exam on knowledge points? Doesn't seem like it. Lumion answered the entire paper truthfully. Done. Lumion felt as though he was back in Cordoue, reporting to his sister that he completed a test. Let me see, Harroburg said. After reviewing the answers, he nodded. You don't need to read all the books on the 3 shelves, just this, this, and this. Harroburg pointed out 8 books and said, finish these and that'll be plenty. Hey? Just this? Lumion was puzzled, not entirely understanding the basis of the judgment. Lumen thought about the content of the test paper and had a guess. He responded, "Yes, Your Grace." As he placed the books into his traveler bag, he estimated the time he would need. If he focused without interruptions, he could finish a book a day. That'd be suspicious. About 2 weeks, maybe a little more. According to Herbert, I was supposed to change music for Nightmare, but too busy talking to dumbass and Lord of the Mysteries. Oh, all good. But according to Herberg, finishing these should be plenty, much better than the initial plan of 6 months, LEMMiNO thought. He mimicked his sister and Franca's occasional crazy talk. Albus, Julie, Gusain, Wanik, wait 2 weeks. Once I'm done studying, I'll fucking kill you all. For now, I'll take advantage of Wanik's invitation. Saturday night, Trier. Franca looked at Jenna, who had moved into the guest room, and said, "You don't seem very happy. Is Julian insisting on returning?" "Yes, he's so stubborn," Jenna said. "Actually, so are you, and your mother." "Don't worry, there's still about a month to figure something out," Franca said. "Yeah." "Are you filling in for Lumen at that gathering?" Jenna asked. Good lord. "Yes," Franca said, tossing the light earring, and compared to her initial reluctance and anxiety, she felt much more anticipation now. It's quite exciting. "Lord, give me strength until next Wednesday." "Oh yeah, you move in next Wednesday, right? Let's go. Nice, Chris. 1 more week, man. 1 more week. You're almost home stretch. Home stretch." Thank you. Franca walked to the full-length mirror and put on the light earring on her left ear. Her skin turned semi-transparent and tiny meat tendrils began to grow. These tendrils squirmed and shifted. In 20 seconds, Franca transformed into the appearance Lumen used to disguise as Aurora. "Aurora is so beautiful," Franca said. "That is amazing." "You've never used it before?" Jenna said. She remembered Franca using it several times. "It's been a while, just feeling rather nostalgic." "I'm okay, sir. I don't know if you saw, but I had my tire blow up on my car, so I gotta get that replaced. So I'm working overtime this week, and I'm just so burnt out. Like, this week was just supposed to be like chill. Like, okay, I'm on vacation next week, and I was like, okay, listen, I just have to make it through. And now this week is so fucking stressful and long, and I just ugh. Plus, after becoming a demoness of pleasure and using the light to tweak my appearance, I didn't dare do it again. Afraid I'd fall in love with myself. I appreciate it, sir. Now I've just made a slight adjustment. I got a windshield replacement, cost $490. Yeah. Nah, the tire to replace and mount and all this bullshit is gonna cost $350. Fuck me, Jesus, come on. Give me a fucking break here. And now I've made a slight adjustment to Aurora's face, and she's so beautiful. A natural beauty like her taking on the demoness pathway. I can't imagine how stunning she'd be. Seeing Franca still able to joke around, Jenna breathed a sigh of relief. For us demonesses lies the most delicious poison. Before leaving, she looked at Jenna and said, "You need a few more good acts to fully digest your potion, right?" "Yes, if I rely on similar performances before, it'll take time and repetition," Jenna replied. "I think your acts have overlooked the black magic aspect of a witch. Think about it. Isn't black magic an essential part of witch legends? And many of those legends were likely left behind by real witches. Try finding a scoundrel, someone who deserves to be hanged, collect their hair and flesh, and as a witch, predict their doom, using black magic to torment them until they die." That could work, Jenna thought. "But I hope you becoming a demoness of pleasure will change things," Franca sighed inwardly. Aw. The scheduled offline gathering was at 6 Rue Belfort on Avenue de Boulevard, a 4-story mansion. Despite its opulence, it was always rented out for 15,000 Vraldor a year, having housed dukes, bankers, and diplomats. Now it had no long-term tenants and was rented out for a week by the gatherer's organizer, the professor. No, Kami, I think she says that because she wants Jenna to like her, and she's like, well, maybe that'll just, maybe we can spend more time that way. And maybe she'll change her mind. That's what I interpret it as. I don't know, maybe your interpretation's different. That's what I thought. And basically hop on VC, true. Passing through the garden lit by the gas lamps and circling a water fountain, Franca reached the mansion's entrance, where a table with a sign-in book was placed, the simplest form of identity verification to prevent some odd person from stepping in. Franca recalled Aurora's notes, mimicked her handwriting, and signed Muggle. It felt like an unseen gaze lingered on the sign-in page. Silently, the door opened, and Franca stepped in. She slowed her pace, silently recalling the mannerisms of Muggle. Franca, highly professional in her role-playing, had previously used dream divination to retrieve those buried memories. She shortened her step and lengthened her waist movement. The living room was homely, red and yellow decorations bringing an indescribable warmth. What is sequence 5 of Visionary? It goes... Dreamwalker. Eight members of the Research Society were disguised, as they had been in the Nation of Evernight, to indicate their identities. Some sat on a sofa, drinking and chatting, while others played darts. Professor left the sofa and approached Franca. With a faint smile, she said, let's chat first to catch up on recent events, then we can drink, play games, sing, and play cards. How does that sound? Great! If offline gatherings were just for trading and exchanging knowledge, what's the point? One reason Franca was willing to attend was that it had been a while since she had fun with her fellow countrymen. Franca gracefully pulled up a high stool and sat next to the professor, casting a glance at familiar faces like Periodic Table and Isotope. Muggle, are you settled in Trier? Academy team member, or Periodic Table asked? For now, yes, but considering the situation, I don't plan to stay long. Why do you say that? Professor asked. I encountered some things in underground Trier that made me think great dangers are brewing, that could erupt at any time. Like the mirror people? The professor asked. Yes. She didn't say much, it was confidential. And even if she did, others may not believe her. Professor Isotope and the others fell silent, as if pondering something. During the exchange, Franca was more active than Lumin had been, understanding many codes and familiar with many things. The professor glanced around and said, it seems you've recovered from the April Fool's incident, back to your usual self, not as silent as before. Franca felt that she might have messed up. Not that her disguise as Muggle was bad, but too good. Once Lumion returned, others would surely be curious why she had seemed to return to her quiet state again. Franca said, actually I haven't fully recovered, some wounds may never heal, but chatting with everyone makes me feel like I'm back in the past. I wonder if she still thinks in Chinese? That, I don't know if ever goes away, man. Like, I feel like I could live in whatever country for forever. Oh, I'm sorry, Kami, bad timing. I feel like I could live in whatever country forever, but I always think in English. Professor expressed her understanding. She was about to say more when her face, not covered by the butterfly mask, twitched in pain, her eyes bulging with agony. She bent over, clutching her head. Franca paused, scanning the others, noticing the others had similar reactions. Only 2 non-Warlock members were unaffected. I'm a Warlock too now. Franca mimicked their reactions, recalling their pain from the advancement ritual, displaying a headache-like state. After 2 or 3 minutes, the professor straightened up. The non-Warlock member named Griffin asked, "What happened to you all?" The hidden sage injecting knowledge again? Yes, the professor laughed bitterly in a brown paper bag. In broadcast format? I thought it was one-on-one, Griffith said. Both happen, periodic table said. Have you noticed the hidden sage has been injecting knowledge more frequently since that terrifying rainstorm? Yeah, periodic table said. Seeing everyone else agree, Franka nodded too, pondering, could the source of this anomaly be related to the Celestial Master? The fourth epoch tree was briefly opened, some power leaking out, making the already hidden sage even crazier? Franka knew that the rainstorm referred to the time when the hostile project briefly opened. I love how Franka is like, damn, what the fuck's wrong with these people? And then went, oh fuck, what's wrong with me? I gotta do this shit too. Ugh. I mean, good reaction. I don't even know if I would have caught that. I'd been like, the fuck's up with you guys? And then when everyone's like, excuse me, bitch? And I'd be like, oh, I fucked up, boys. I'm so sorry. Oof. I'm not gonna lie to you. I fucked up. You'd be caught like that one German soldier. Yeah. That spread the butter wrong? What? Are you? I thought you were gonna refer to this, but what is the spread the butter wrong? What? Oh, do you mean like how? Oh, I think I've seen this. How like Germans spread it from the middle out, or vice versa, or something. Whereas most people do it from the outside in, or something. Celestial Master and Hidden Sage. So you got caught? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Franka couldn't talk about the Celestial Master at the moment, nor could she. What is the Celestial Master and Hidden Sage? I don't know, man. You know who we should ask about Celestial Master? I think we should ask Red. I feel like Red would know. Hear me out. He's been going to those Chinese cult meetings, you know? He's got to know something, you know? She could only note that this anomaly silently and plan to report it to Madame Judgment later. So the Major Arcana holder could determine what was wrong. Let's hear it, Red, truly. After a moment of silence, Isotope spoke heavily. Everyone here understands the pain of being force-fed knowledge. So far, we can barely endure it, but if the frequency increases or the intensity goes up, it won't be long before we explode. I agree, the professor said. I do sense a bit of crisis, but does this help? Can we unite and kill the hidden sage? Franka could understand the last two sentences. In the first 2 or 3 years after transmigrating, as an atheist who had read many novels, she regarded the 7 gods as more powerful beyonders. She believed that as someone on the path, she may one day have a chance to slay them. But after witnessing more and more knowledge, she understood the gap between them. According to the Demoness of Black, true gods could modify and adjust sequence abilities within their paths to an extent. Meanwhile, Franka recalled the past and noticed that during their gatherings in the nation of Evernight, warlocks rarely expressed such negative emotions. Now, they were no longer hiding their pain. The Academy group had too many non-warlock members, and those here are a small circle who know each other quite well, so they can be more genuine. But, Muggle, I'm not part of your circle. Are these emotions part of the act? What's the purpose? Franka didn't know if Lumion had infected her with paranoia. Yeah, what can we do? She echoed. Franka really thought of Kratos in gods? Listen, I think we would all have that thought. Logically, you just be like, listen, they're just stronger beyonders. I'm a beyonder. If I get strong enough, one day I can kill them. And then you realize, you're like, well, almost all the pathways are taken. If I take one of the sequence 0 pathways that is taken, or God forbid a great old one, I'm fucked. What am I to do? This motherfucker can just affect me because he's just a stronger version of me and can affect my own pathways. We're fucked. I'm not Gore the God Killer, Gore the God Butcher. I'm not that guy, pal. Professor, steady as usual, said, at least we can look for items or methods to reduce the negative effects. Then that's all we can do for now, periodic table sighed. The Warlocks, alongside Griffin and Eagle, discussed the issue, proposing various ideas. Franca also used her imagination and said, it's a pity we can't predict exactly when the Hidden Sage will go mad. Or I know a place that could have reduced the effect. What place? Associate Professor asked. Franca didn't intend to hide it. She thought if LEMMiNO was here, he would definitely share too. The small sacrificial square at the entrance of the 3rd level of the catacombs, it seems to have remnants of the powers of EBS and the god of steam and machinery, which can shield against most external influences. I've been there, but I didn't know there were remnants of divine power, the professor said. This is quite useful. When we're on the brink of breaking, I can take a box of white candles and enough food, stay at the square until the effects dissipate and my body recover. Exactly, Franca said. We can also seek help from Beyonders of the apothecary pathway to produce medicine that can help restore us. Temporary enhancement of brain capacity, learning ability, and soul strengthening would work, Isotope and the others chimed in. Their spirits lifted a bit. After another half an hour, did you miss the paragraph on what Franca thinks of LEMMiNO's thoughts just now? No. After half an hour of chatting, Professor and Associate Professor called a few people to fetch board games from the study while Franca stood up and went to the bar. As she hesitated between fruit, beer, and soda, Periodic Table came to her, looking over the drinks and said, Muggle, weren't you looking for members of the Moses Ascetic Order? I am one, he said. Aha! She even suspected that all the Warlocks in the circle were members, and Griffin and Eagle, who were not Warlocks, may be as well. You guessed it a long time ago. Periodic Table noticed that there was no changes in Muggle's face. It's not strange. I'm also a member of another organization. Many in the society are. It's not a problem as long as it doesn't violate our contracts. Fair enough. You mentioned a mirror person named Griffith in the organization secretly replacing one of our own. I have an idea now. Franca had been tracking the whereabouts of the Aura scholar Yasmin, suspected to be a mirror person Palia, but had no leads on Griffith. Who? She asked. Normally I should report this to the higher-ups, but I can't contact my direct pillar recently. Pillar? The brass of our ascetic order consists of 10 pillars, 10 demigods, maybe more. The one responsible for the Trier region and my direct superior is Carmelo. After the terrifying rainstorm, his orders have lessened, and recently we've had no response from him. No emergency contact with the other pillars? Franca asked. No. Normally when we pray to the Hidden Sage and report an anomaly, he would give a revelation. But we tried and there's no revelation, nor did any pillars contact us. Go on. The situation isn't too bad. Though lacking high-level guidance and resources, we don't have dangerous tasks unless Nicola is the mirror person Griffith. Nicola? He's Carmelo's deputy. Recently, his behavior made me suspect he may be the mirror person. What behavior? Franca asked. He gets angry more easily, has more negative emotions, and I noticed he seems awkward using his right hand, though he's a righty. What's his real identity? Franca said. I can't be sure if he's a mirror person. Periodic Table hesitated. It's normal to have uncontrolled negative emotions after prolonged knowledge infusion. Before telling you his identity, I hope to sign a notarized document with you, ensuring that if he's not a mirror person, you won't harm him. As he spoke, he took out an expensive notarized document. Seeing Muggle's slightly surprised look, Periodic Table laughed. Blame it on us for following the maxim. Do as you wish, but do no harm. Sure, no problem, Frank agreed. She wasn't one to kill innocents anyway. Late at night, in Marora, LEMMiNO put down the book, rubbed his aching head, and decided to rest. As he considered if he'd missed any enemies or competitors, the mirror in the room glowed. Gusain and Albus are about to step into the trap. I'll tell you my hiding place now. Is it starting? LEMMiNO thought. Kami, is it better than to end here? Because then I don't want to end in the middle of the fucking fight. Is it better to end here and then go in tomorrow? Because I don't want to like leave midway through the fucking fight. That's so cooked. Let me check, but you could stop here. No point in reading while being out of it. I'm not out of it. I'm just tired, man. Out of it implies I'm being a little... I'm like not taking shit in. Little cliffhanger's fine. Okay. Fuck. Alright, let's do 8:15 then. Alright, let's go. Nah, it's okay, sir. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. No point being a little bitch about it. It's okay. As Wennick's figure faded from the mirror, LEMMiNO reluctantly stowed away the books into his traveler bag, stood up and left the room, and walked to Julie's room. Julie opened the door, hugging a blanket to her chest, her bare shoulders glowing like twin mounds of snow. I wasn't trying to harass you, she said. Wennick has invited me to deal with Gusain and Albus, right in the ruins of Dada's agriculture company. Without waiting for Julie's response, LEMMiNO turned and walked down the stairs, merging with the darkness. Inside the fog-filled hollow, in a stripe of 4 statues facing each other, Gusain said to Albus, "We can't be sure if the clues are bait. We might step into a trap. That is why we are here. Whether it is a trap or not, as long as we are strong enough, we can invalidate their schemes and make them swallow the bitter fruit of their failure." "Yes," Gusain said. "I've heard a saying, no matter how many eggs band together, they can't break a stone. What we need now is to become that stone. Last time we weren't sure if we could pinpoint Wennick, so we didn't risk activating the Altar's full power. Now we can give him a surprise." Not using it last time was good. The illusion might have made Wennick gather all our targets together. Looking around, Albus sneered. "I thought LEMMiNO would return here these days. So I had you leave the lamp of calamity on the altar to lure him to using it. I didn't expect him to be such a coward." "He should have been here," Gusain said. "He tried multiple times to destroy the statues but failed. This led the altar to draw some of the power from the earth to repair it, causing slight changes in details, but I didn't expect him to resist the urge and call the lamp of calamity and not light it. For hunters, such control is rare. You'd better perform the ritual now then, and check the lamp to see if it's been tampered with or has anything added. A hunter not causing some damage would be unworthy of our name." "Are you underestimating my caution?" Gusain laughed as he approached the pedestal, picked up the lamp containing the semi-solid, semi-liquid grease, inspecting it, sniffing it, and finally dipping his fingers in. Gusain withdrew his fingers, letting the white-hot flame ignite the grease. The scent of warmth, allure, and fragrance and rust quickly filled his nostrils. "No problem," he said. "Or you could take Adderall. I'm sorry, you got some on you, brother? I don't have any at the moment." Although I do have a 24 case of Red Bull downstairs, so I would do it. I went to I don't know, my dad has access to this like store that like business people do. Apparently, like, it's not open to the public and shit. I walked in, and there was a fucking 24 case of Red Bull for like $40, like less than $1, like about $1.50 a can. And I was like, gotta get that. And my dad's staring at me. He's like, you know how bad that is for you? I go, yeah. He goes, you shouldn't drink that. I go, yeah. He goes, you're gonna buy that? I go, yeah. He goes, fucking hell. And then yeah, and then we keep walking. He turned, facing the 4 statues in the lamp of calamity, and took on a small blue iron soldier from a hidden pocket, placing it on the pedestal. Isn't it just the 4th epoch trio? What's so hard to guess? Still keeping secrets? Companions? Albus began to step away from Gusain. Finally, Albus stopped about 15 meters away. Watching through the thick fog as Gusain lit the lamp, sat cross-legged in the ground, and entered cogitation. In just over 10 seconds, Gusain, surrounded by a dark fragrance, saw a dense fog. Unlike the fog of war, this fog tinged with a ghostly black, covering a city with no boundaries. Half dazed, half awake, Gusain floated to a familiar place. After some time, he reached a tall, shadow-like tower, rapidly descending, entering its eerie, sinister base. Here, it seemed there was a well. Gusain repeated the purpose of the ritual to fight off the drowsiness. He neared the well. He then saw moss-covered stones and chains attached to the well's walls. I can see the inside of the well's walls. I never could before. The effectiveness is due to my proximity to the great existence? Gusain felt a great joy. He looked at the dark water in the well. The water rippled, forming a figure. Gusain strained to see, spotting patches of brown bark. The bark embedded in a face, bringing indescribable horror. Bark? Why would bark appear here? Shouldn't it be steel and blood? Instinctively, Gusain looked at his hands, finding patches of bark on his skin. What? Gusain looked back at the well's dark water surface. He saw himself reflected clearly, his face covered in bark. In the next moment, the bark squirmed, sinking inwards, and the flesh turning flesh-colored. They became wet spores embedded in flesh, blooming to release countless tiny naked figurines. Gusain's terror broke its limits. He opened his eyes, breaking free, puffing. He saw the soldiers on the pedestal expanding to 3 or 4 meters tall, its eyes iron black instead of burning red. The soldier's spear covered in flames. Success, Gusain studied himself. He's thought the anomaly was due to the proximity to the great existence. I'm stronger now, Gusain said, extinguishing the lamp. This is a puppet with some of the Iron-Blooded Knight's power and status? Albus asked. Yes. Treat it as a weakened Sequence 4, not something when it can compare to. He hadn't yet examined the benefits and knowledge gained from the ritual. Albus took a few steps instead. Your hair has grown. My hair has grown? Gusain saw his brown hair had grown to his cheeks. Did the ritual bring me closer to the demoness pathway? He lowered his head. Sure enough, his chest was bulging. At the same time, Gusain smelled a faint, milky smell. Milk? Did the demoness cause this? He was about to ask Albus about his changes when he saw the collaborator backing away. Immediately, Gusain felt the iron soldier behind him bending over, lowering its head, lowering its ear to the sound of the metal clanking. The soldier spoke out. Mother. Oh, you guys are so fucked. Oh, you guys are so fucked. Oh my god. You are so fucked. Mother? Me? Gusain, confused, looked down at his abdomen swelling. Seeing this, his mind buzzed. Albus retreated slowly to avoid triggering abnormalities and saw Gusain looking at him, smiling, with a maternal radiance. A massive explosion occurred in the district of the volcanic crater, sending a fireball rolling into the sky. In the ruins of the Dadas Agricultural Company, hidden in the underground chamber, Lumin and Wanek felt the near earthquake-like disturbance. From the direction of the tremor, Lumin guessed. The hollow? Did Albus and Gusain make some preparations, lighting the lamp I tampered with? Lumin turned to shout to Wanek. The situation has changed. He left the state, teleporting to the corresponding district. He didn't choose the hollow entrance with the war fog, fearing the explosion was a bait. Only a hunter knew how treacherous another hunter could be. Oh, that's check COI art. Usual Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah, I candle truly. Damn, these motherfuckers kinda goated though. Hold on, he be cooking. They kinda be cooking though. Alright guys, that's it. We'll call it there. Y'all have a good rest of your day or nights, and I'll hopefully catch y'all tomorrow, okay? Thanks, Connie.